Good afternoon, everyone. I just couldn't stay away from you all, even though it's my birthday. Thank you for everyone that reached out and wished me a happy birthday. I very much enjoyed it so far. Um, yeah. So, what are we going to talk about right now? Let's talk about materialism, the atheist materialists. Okay, let's finally get into that. People who believe that there's matter. Now, some quantum questioning that'll happen. Let's give an example. If I say that there is a fan behind me, right? If I say that there's a fan behind me or a rock or something, is it actually there if nobody's looking at it? Quantum physics says it exists as a wave of possibilities. The atheist will sit there and say, of course it exists because I reach behind me and I touch it and I feel it. Well, what is consciousness, guys? Consciousness can be summed up by your five senses: smell, touch, taste, hear, and feel. That's how you collapse the wave function. Okay. Now, so if someone's behind you and if something's behind you and you touch it, you've collapsed the wave function. It doesn't exist in superposition anymore. Okay. So that's the atheist argument gone to garbage. But now, what about atheism who believes in matter? Right now, I'm knocking on this desk. It feels real. It feels hard. It feels like it exists. But I want to share something with you. This is an electron going around a nucleus, okay? The proton and the neutrons, okay? What is the first thing that you notice? Or maybe not the first thing you notice. I'll give you a sec. Give up. You'll notice that this is an atom of hydrogen, okay? The first element. One proton, one neutron, one electron. You know what else you'll notice? This is 99.99999% empty space. Okay? It doesn't exist. The things that make up matter that we think exist do not actually exist. Now that remaining, 0.000001%, that's not matter either. Those are called eigenvalues in a wave equation. It's the mathematical probability of actually observing something. Okay? So what happens is you have all this non-empty space. How does it make matter? It's a trick of the senses. I've explained to you guys before that when you touch something, you're not physically touching it. Okay? Because the electrons at 10 to the negative eighth repel your electrons. So whenever you're hugging someone, you're touching a rock, or you're doing whatever with your hands or body, you are physically not physically touching the other person. What you are feeling is their electrons. Okay? That's what you are feeling. So this matter doesn't exist. Okay? What is it? It exists in superposition. And when you look at it, or when you feel it, or when you use your five senses, okay, it collapses the wave of probabilities, the superposition in which it exists in multiple positions at once. Okay? And that's what it basically does. Okay? There's other things that I want to talk to you guys about so much. For example, there's something called spooky action at a distance, which is what Einstein actually called it. And he never could admit this. It freaked him out so much he didn't want to talk about it. What spooky action at a distance basically means is if you take two particles that are entangled, it's called quantum entanglement. And the best way to describe it is if you have two particles that are entangled and you separate them, it doesn't matter the distance that you put between the two of them. They could be a universe apart or a foot apart. When you instigate one of them, the other one instantaneously reacts to it. Doesn't matter how far through space and time. So in this way, we know that space, although how vast it is and how absurdly large it is just an illusion. Okay? And you're talking about the five senses again. Okay, we're the ones that collapse it. Now, what are the five senses basically? Well, what I perceive as myself, what I perceive is who I am. Again, you can basically say that I am you, but over here. The total amount of consciousness in this world is one. There is one consciousness. We experience them differently. Some people are deaf, some people are colorblind. We experience it differently. However, it's one consciousness. The only difference between you and me, the only difference is that my self-awareness is encased in my body over here, while the same self-awareness is over there in yours. Okay? The quantum world is wild. Okay? The quantum world, time and time again, has been proven correct on every subject that they ever talk about. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk to you guys about, not now, but I'll talk to you about is something called the double slit experiment. And I'm going to try and figure out a way to really simplify that because it's quite an outstanding example of what it is. So just to sum up, there is no matter, okay? Atoms are 99.999%. I showed you it. They're 99.999% empty space. And what isn't empty space isn't actually matter anyway. Okay, they're eigenvalues in a wave equation, which is the mathematical probability of actually observing something. Without observation, things don't exist. Okay, so there's that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you enjoy. I'll talk to you soon.